rock and roll.
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I'd like to introduce my team. Out in the crowd, we have Casey, Tristan, here we have Bert and Federica, and tonight we're going to introduce NewsTiles. Some background information. For several weeks, we were addressing two problems that the news industry was facing. One is how to find relevant news for people, and two, how to create a profitable business around it. So here is NewsTiles. It's an iPhone application. Let me pass out a prototype we have working here on my iPod. It's an iPhone application that contains three things. One is personalized, compelling photos. Two, it contains headlines that explain the context of the photo. And three, you're able to click on the photo and access the background story. So how do we personalize NewsTiles? Well, it has a functionality, a common functionality that's seen on other websites, where we break down the news into different types, and we use these slide bars here to easily address your interests. So for example, if you demand more politics, just slide and increase your demand. Another option that NewsTiles has is this menu. At the top, you can see how you can access your blend settings. Secondly, you're able to view your other friends' NewsTiles to keep up to date with them. And also, you're able to send your own NewsTiles to your friends through an email. So now that I've introduced what NewsTiles is, Bert's going to go over our design process.
Thank you, John. So, how did we get to this point? We sought out extreme users, as we do in the D.school, and one place which we concentrated on was bookstores as a place where extreme media is consumed. So basically what we found there, which was kind of common across a lot of people, was that people are incredibly personal. Everybody wants their own thing. You cannot assume any general impressions about how people get their news. People are compelled by powerful images, is another thing that we repeatedly saw when we tested. And people love to share with their friends and share what kind of news they're reading and see what other people are reading. So from this, we kind of came up with a metaphor that we thought was pretty good for thinking about this, which is news is an aquarium. And that led us to some prototypes where we were thinking about ways to get the news to people. This is kind of a whole spectrum of things. We tried dashboards that were on people's screens that would show different things and pictures and headlines. We did a prototype with your friend telling you what they're saying there. People didn't like things on their screens that they don't control, basically. So we tried using within applications that they already had open, like some kind of banner on a website, or we even tried using instant messenger and having a news robot who would interact with people and see what they were interested in. But in the end, we think that this kind of really gets down to the essence of what we have. It has powerful images, it's personalized, and you can share it with friends as the features that we mentioned, and also it's interactive, which is important. So we tested this with some people, and I thought I'd just show you quickly what people had to say.
But I did like it. It was like, I mean, it's a good mix of what television does and what the internet allows for.
This is nice. I mean, certain topics I can't get enough visual of, so this is really nice for me because, you know, I want to see more about that stuff.
Seems pretty cool. I definitely like having the pictures because it's sort of easier to scroll through. That's what's most annoying, like online looking at the news for me. At least when you want to see pictures, like on the New York Times, it's like really slow. You have to click and the page has to load. But if I could just like slide through all the pictures on an article, that would be really neat.
Yeah, so this is NewsTiles, and we thought about the iPhone application because we have approximately between 12 and 16 million iPhone users, and that number is just destined to grow in the future years. But we really focus on who would be our target in terms of how to make it happen. And so first we thought about a venture, but then we really realized that that was the perfect product for big media organizations, such as the AP, Reuters, the Espresso is mine, media organization in ETV and Nord and New York Times, big media organizations that need an alternative way to make revenue or to make up for the lost revenue in the past. And in Europe, they used to, like the old model was to add gadgets to magazines or newspapers, like a DVD or a book or a little toy or something else. This could be the new gadget of the digital era, where your readers can actually receive the news, the NewsTiles on their phone, their iPhone, or similar applications in the future. Lots of them are coming up in the future years. And they can have a stripped down version where they get only the slides and the pictures, and an upgraded version where they actually have to pay for it. In the upgraded version, the interactive version, they could be able to access the media organization website to get more in depth with the news, so to get the news stories, the article, to get more pictures. They could share it with friends, they could set up their applications, and they would have to pay a price that's around $5, that's per year, that's the approximate price that we come up with. They could also add ads, and so little tiny ads, and what's very powerful about it is that you are actually staring at a picture, so you're actually looking at the ad, you're not just ignoring the ad, such as happens today on the internet. Thank you very much.